The problem basically is that we have a failing fiat currency system. The whole system is failing. I'm sorry, there's nowhere to hide from it. I mean, not even in the wonderful JP Morgan and Citibanks and all the rest of it, because they are exposed to it and there's nothing they can do about it. To get back to the basic point, do you really want to have everything in this fiat currency system, which is undoubtedly going to fall over? What you should be looking at is real money. And legally, real money is only physical gold, physical silver, for smaller change, and also physical copper in coinage. As to why central banks are accumulating gold, it's for exactly the same reasons that ordinary people are. They realize that the fiat currency system is under threat. And it makes sense to have in your foreign reserves or in your national wealth fund or whatever it might be, it makes sense to have physical gold, where there is no counterparty risk, as they would put it, instead of dollars, euros, yen, Uncle Tom Cobley and all. I mean, paper currencies are paper currencies. There's counterparty risk. And that counterparty risk, as far as the central banks are concerned, is escalating. The only central banks who do not appear to be adding to their holdings are the major central banks, like Japan, Britain, members of the Eurozone and America. But in Asia, they very definitely are. And they're causing a huge, great shortage in the market. It's not just them. It's just, and of course, the correct way to look at it, as I keep on saying, is it's not gold or silver going up so much. It's more a question of the collapse of the utility of paper currencies. The confidence in them is evaporating. Everything, absolutely everything now is rising on a very, very sharp fall in the dollar's trade weighted index. Interest rates are going to continue to rise. I mean, you've got consumer price inflation logged at over 10% certainly in this country, also in Europe. I don't think you're far behind. You're probably at 10. I don't know. But to have, to have interest rates set by the central banks at round about sort of 2 to 3% is completely wrong. It should be multiples higher. So you can see that the pressure for higher interest rates is not going to go away. We've never seen this before. We've never seen a situation where all the currencies are tied to one fiat currency. That is the situation today. One fiat currency falls over, all the rest fall over. And I'm talking about the major currencies, but anyone who is tied to the dollar is vulnerable to this. And that's basically what's going to happen. So all these major currencies really do have a huge problem. And I can see the day rapidly coming when they won't exist anymore. Now, that's a very, very serious thing to say. But unless you're prepared to let interest rates rise to the level whereby a depositor gets his time preference, if you like. In other words, the interest compensation has to be sufficient for him to retain his deposits. If you don't do that, then the currency goes down to zero. I mean, that is inevitable. It's the same situation that has faced every hyperinflation, which has all been with fiat currencies. And I think some 70 of them or so in history are known to have occurred. Same happens every time. We're seeing exactly the same thing happening. Basically, physical gold. That is the only escape. Not ETFs, not paper gold, but physical bullion and coin. That's the only way to get out of this horrid mess. And I think half measures will not save you. When you have gold, when you're backed by gold, then the public confidence bit doesn't matter so much. So long as you have, as long as the public are confident that the gold backing is there and it is available to them. Under those circumstances, you find that the purchasing power of your currency holds up, even though the quantity is expanded. But I think now we've got to the stage where the confidence, if you like, in the paper currencies is being seriously undermined. Everybody noted that the expansion of, if you like, of currency in circulation as a result of stimmies and all the rest of it over COVID, there's sort of thought, well, that's a one-off. But then suddenly it's not a one-off. We've got other things. We've got energy prices. We've got all these things. So there is another reason why you're going to get a debasement of the currency. And what happens is that there comes a point where people begin to see that is going to continue, and it's going to destroy the currency, or at least the currency is overvalued compared with those prospects. So it gets sold down first in the foreign exchanges, and generally the last people to really realize that the purchasing power of their currency is collapsing are its actual users, the domestic users of dollars, in your case, in America. They will be last to, as a cohort, to really understand this. And when they wake up to that, and they could wake up, I don't know, it could be quite quick, then they will dump dollars for anything. I mean, anything that they need, which they don't need now, but they might need in the future, just to get out of the currency. Unless there is a proper recognition that is our destiny, then I think it becomes inevitable. The big mistake in this is to look at gold and silver as an investment. No, it is not an investment. You buy physical gold and physical silver, and eventually you will spend it. It is money. It is not an investment, and that's the way to look at it. Now, in that sense, the price is completely immaterial. Whether you buy silver, I don't know, $18, $21, $26, is immaterial. Because what you're doing is you're getting the hell out of fiat currencies. You're protecting yourself against the increasing likelihood of a collapse of the fiat currency system. And if you don't do that, then you'll probably regret it forever, because, certainly if it happens, which, as I say, is looking increasingly likely, you will regret not buying silver at, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, because actually what's happening is it's not silver going up so much, but it's the fiat currency going through the floor. Get out of the fiat currency is really what you should be thinking, and do it that way around. So whether it pulls back or not is immaterial to the violence that we face in fiat currency markets. You can do that with the futures market, yes, and go and get whipsawed along with all the hedge funds. But when it comes to physical gold is the only legal form of money. All the rest is credit. Everything else is credit. So have some money is really the way to get out of the fiat currency credit system, which is, in my view, at great risk of imploding.